Welcome back to everybody to some more BeamNG.Drive Cardurance. Today we are back on the West Coast dirt track to see how the three cars from the Endurodrome fare. Without further ado, let's get this underway. We've got the Burnside Special V8. Got the lowest package for this car, but we shall see how well it can handle itself. Now this car's suspension is a bit softer, so it does take more body hits on landings, but it can also be a little bit more durable in the long run. But with its showing on the last course, it's not really... It's shown that it doesn't fare the best, nonetheless. You get our speed up here. Ooh, that was close with how heavy this car is. As long as this car can keep up speed for the big jump, it may do a bit better here since it's more of jumps and such rather than the bumps and rocks and such that slowly tore away at the front end. Although what inevitably did this vehicle in last time was its overheating due to radiator damage. But the steering and other dragging issues did not help that in the slightest. Made it a lot harder for the vehicle to get going and strain the engine more. That's a nice clean jump there. As we're rounding the second time across the big jump, able to have a little bit more speed this time, but still just barely scraping by on that jump. The second we lose any engine power or have stuff start dragging, it's going to start having issues. As our doors are flapping away. That's the one weird thing that BeamNG.Drive has about it is the components on it are somehow stiffer and more rigid while being less rigid at the same time than real-life vehicles. But as we round that corner on the third lap, hit these first jumps, it is already overheating and not even from radiator damage. This car is just old. Radiator and such just cannot handle the non-stop pedal to the floor. And as we saw the last one, right before the radiator was damaged, it did start overheating. Let's just hope we can complete this third lap before losing engine power. Ooh, that was really close. Piston rings damaged, so the engine torque is reduced. If we are able to make it around to that jump again, we will not make it. So by then, we're going to have a whole other slew of power reduced. Oh, head gasket's gone as we complete our third lap. Yeah, it no longer has the power to sling it out sideways very easily. Have to use momentum drifting to get it to go. And rod bearings are damaged, just things barely got enough power to go, and the engine's gone. We'll let it coast to a stop here. Be able to tabletop? Oh no, it kept going a bit. Oh. Okay, parked by itself. So this car made it 3 completed laps, and on the 4th lap died at the first jumps. Or ended at the first jumps. That was a good showing of this vehicle. It didn't sustain much damage. It was actually doing pretty well. It's just the old school cooling system was not able to hold up to the test. And on to our second vehicle. We've got the Gavril Grand Marshal V8, and I've grabbed the Lux version yet again. just because it looks a little fancier. They're the same. It's the same as the V8, except for with just some cosmetic changes like the trim and such. But we'll see how it does here. This vehicle claimed first place over on the Endurodrome, so hopefully it can fare well here as well. This thing has a bit more power and acceleration than that old Burnside, but that's not always a good thing, although it will be for the big jump. These other jumps can make it painful on the suspension though. Making a nice, mostly clean jump. Just one more corner until the completion of this lap. And after the first lap, seems to only be a little bit of damage to the front. And of course the suspension's probably hurting, but besides that, no really visible signs. Oop, I caught the berm there a little bit. This thing is actually really nice to drive here. Kind of wanted that at a weird angle, so I had to pull back a little bit. Now, I haven't exactly had a chance, to tell if it's pulling to the left from my catch on the berm, because it's just non-stop jumps and turns, but I feel like it probably is slightly pulling to the left. Okay, we have completed our second lap. The car is still faring quite well. Now, it's been a couple days since I recorded the Endurodrome part of these vehicles, so I can't quite... Oh, no, I do remember what killed this thing. It caught a rock weird on the rock wall and ripped off one of the... Well, didn't rip it off, but destroyed the axle on one of the wheels. I think it was the right front, and it was steering that killed the vehicle. There's no rock walls here, so this thing may fare even better, although that was a hard hit. Oh, we lost a lot of our speed there and barely made that jump. This thing is bouncing around too much now to be able to get it under control and get speed back up. That can be dangerous. Oh. One of my transmission did a bit of a weird thing there. I almost called it a transition, but so far this car is doing quite well. That was a bit of a hit too, here on the fourth lap. About to hit the big jump for the fourth time. I did slow down a little bit there just so that we wouldn't be bouncing around so much here. Try and keep up speed for this jump. And I'm glad that I did, because that was pretty clean compared to the last one. But she is still bouncing around quite a lot. And we've completed our fourth lap. I'm pretty sure that if this thing gets past the jump on this lap, that it will have taken first place. Or it might have been the fifth lap. I don't know, I'll have the leaderboard up afterwards. Actually, I do have it wrote down here. Yes, it was the, oh, I'm sorry, car. That was my mistake. I was trying to set something down, but it only suffered a little bit of cosmetic damage, thankfully. But right here is where it died. Actually, yeah, right there, because that was our... Yeah, this is our 5th lap we're on. We completed 4. About to complete 5. So this thing has taken the lead on this track as well. Which doesn't really surprise me because this is a durable vehicle. Especially with it being based off of a car that was quite a popular police vehicle for such a long time. We're on our 6th lap now. Drift tap there. Yeah, this thing is showing no signs of quitting. The suspension is starting to get... Oh! That launched us up to the side. I had been steering right a bit, but apparently not enough. Yeah, the suspension is starting to give out. It pulls a little bit to the left, making jumps a little awkward when I try to counteract them. Or counteract it, but actually there it didn't want to stop going to the right. And we pull some honestly cool moves there to keep it upright. Oh, get turned. Our bumper's slowly getting peeled away. Oh, I took that one a little too far. Thankfully, we did not damage our radiator. This thing actually has quite a bit of room up there in the front, surprisingly. That makes it that much better for radiator protection, but now we are on our 7th lap. If we make the jump again, we will have completed a total of 2 more laps than the previous leader. Yeah. I had to think a little bit for a second there. And it is hitting the ground quite hard. I don't know how it's faring this well. Come on, get speed up. There we go. It does seem like our suspension in the rear is going weird because we have a lot of toe in now on both wheels. That right front has been taking some heavier hits as it tries to skid away from me. Oh, now it's actually pulling to the right. Odd. Gosh, it is just not wanting to obey me right now. The steering is slowly giving up on me. Ooh, that got a radiator. We just barely made it over that jump. I thought we were hitting it close before, but that time was just on the lip of it. And this thing is pulling pretty heavily to the right now. It's getting hard to keep it away from the right wall. Oh, and I overdid it again. Get turned around there. Pretty sure... Okay, this one has gone on so long that I've lost track of the laps. That was either our 7th or 8th lap completion. I think that might have been the 8th. I'm not quite sure. I'll have the laps completed and everything posted at the end of the video, and I could not save it there yet again. It is yanking me hard to the right. Trying to compensate for it with all the jumps and everything. It's hard to find a sweet spot to keep it at. Dang it. Stay. There we go. Seems like the rear end might be shifted to the left as well or something, because it's just non-stop pushing that way, but ooh, and we have killed it. Drive shaft has broken from that hard landing, and we've ended up in the wall. Yeah. Grand Marshal V8 showing up again with a new leader position. And it fared quite well until the steering gave me too many issues. Yeah, it's angled a bit to the right there, so on to the next one. And on to our final vehicle, the Bruckle Moonhawk Off-Road. Now, as you know, with the final vehicles, do kind of a weirder, wackier one, or just something that I don't expect to do the best. Now this thing I had pegged as a more weirder, wackier one, because it's a mod of an off-road version of this muscle car. And I expected it to do quite well, but with how stiff its suspension is, it actually ended up not doing the best on the last track, and its rear axle came loose and then eventually broke the drive shaft when I tried to drive it. So we'll just see how it goes here. Already having a rough run on that first jump because I could not get it to steer where I wanted it to. That's another problem with this thing. It seems like the tires are fully inflated, which is not the best for off-roading. Yeah, but that left front already starting to get some toe out on it from the impacts. So is the right front. So the front suspension's already dying. Oh yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought since I've been running around dealing with tornado warning stuff. So, but yeah, the front suspension's already giving out after just one lap, and the exhaust has been damaged yet again. Doesn't sound all that much difference. Doesn't sound much difference. Different. Ooh. And its inability to be controlled has killed it already. Okay. Well, unfortunate for this vehicle, but honestly, I didn't have very high hopes for it, as you can see with that left rear, how... Well, let me get a better angle. There we go. The left rear, or left front, how angled it was. I think it actually took some damage too from the impact, and it's worse because it's shucked out to the side now too, but I wasn't expecting this thing to last long anymore anyway, with how delicate we found out the rear end was. So I'm not going to give it a mulligan because it had completed a lap already. Mulligans I usually only do if it's something stupid for within the first lap, but this issue was with it not being able to be controllable to make it over the jump with enough power, so that is an issue with how the car is built itself. So yep, I think it has taken last place on here now. Just see real quick. Yep, it has taken last place with only completing one lap and then dying just after the big jump. So I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.